All right, welcome to another Art for Inspiration. Today, I'm going to look at some Dave Finch artwork. Batman Rebirth. All right, let's check these out. I do have two volumes here. Feel pretty confident. Can bust through both of them for one video. As you see, I got some bookmarks here. Sporadic. He only did a little bit of work in here, not a whole lot. This one, he only did the first couple, I believe, and then some sketch stuff in the back. So, easy peasy. All right, so check these out. These were an impulse purchase for me. They were clearancing them out on Amazon, of all places. So, yeah, I got to grab both volumes. Super cheap. I have no idea whether or not they'll be the same pricing when I decide to make this video live. So, all right, let's bust through this. That was a Finch piece there. We're going to go through here. We're here for Dave, so there is other artists in here, a lot of other amazing artwork, but we're not here for that. We're here specifically for Finch. All right. You got a piece here by Dave. Looks like he inked it himself. A colorist did a color hold on his name there. So yeah, you got Dave here. Not entirely sure why I skipped out on these floppy edition books. I don't own these. This is the first time I've ever owned this particular set of pages here by him. I was a huge fan of his Dark Knight run, which had a lot of inks by I think it was mostly Bat and Rich Friend, I think. And then of course the Dark Knight, the Golden Dawn book, which I think might have been Scott Williams inks. I'm not sure, but I'll try to pay attention to who's inking because it is a plethora of different inkers on different books. This one's inked by Bat, so interiors covers by Dave. So we'll go and just peek through here. Just gonna do a flip through so you can see some of the content here. Obviously, with the Finch Batman book, or really any Capes book that he draws, you're gonna get these cool dynamic shots, especially stuff with cities. Characters, leaping around, defying gravity, all the coolness, all the cool stuff, cool layouts, cool tech. Really nicely drawn backgrounds. Yeah. So, and it is kind of interesting to see how different inkers handle his lines, because, like I said, he is a very organic penciler. So some inkers clean it up a lot. Bat's a very repetitive type inker. You'll usually find the same line weights throughout every item within that plane. Like if you have a background, a mid, and a foreground, I do notice that a lot of the tapering and things in the foreground is where he feels a lot more comfortable with playing with line weights. And then as you get to the midground and the background, it becomes more of a dead line, to me at least. That's what I notice. But yeah, regardless who the inker is, they're all pros. They have their own, they have their own approach with his work. Yeah, it's just really interesting to see this stuff. Also knowing, who other seasoned vets like a Danny Mickey or like a Rich Friend, their approach would be very different with a lot of this stuff. So. That's really interesting. I like this shot. It's really cool. Yeah, I had always known Finch would have been a good artist for just Batman in general when he did his pages, which was majority of the book. I feel like of the Darkness Batman crossover book from many years ago. Um, Silvestri did a few pages that were pretty cool, and then Finch did a majority of the book. I feel like was Dave, and just getting to see his renditions of like Batman and stuff was pretty sick. I think this is Gotham and Gotham Girl. Yeah, these characters feel, oh, what's the coloring? And Dave drew them really well. They feel kind of out of place. They feel like something out of Expanded Universe Watchmen or something. I don't know. So yeah, Dave inked himself here as well for this cover. Let's see, we got one here with Grundy. Who is the inker here? Inks here, we got Bat and Danny Mickey both tag teaming on different pages. So Danny's inks to me are kind of easy actually to pick out of the crowd. He's got a very it's a very interesting approach to leading fades into stark chiseled out black areas where other inkers don't really emphasize a curvature of form the way Danny does. And that's actually something I try to do with my own work too, is the way that Danny does it. It's just a different technique. Yeah, these pages are awesome. It's a pretty cool shot. Very very Gotham by Gaslight looking. All right, you get to this cover here. This is Bat Inks right here. These interiors are... It's got a lot of scratch detail in here. I wonder who's the inker in here. Danny Mickey inks. That makes sense. Yeah, so wicked cool shot. Super, super wicked cool shot right here. Yeah, something I noticed too. It's probably because with the writing. I don't know who wrote these. Tom King. Not super familiar with his work, but the pacing through here feels very comfortable and like workable for an artist. So nothing here really feels like there's no beats really being skipped with a lot of what's going on. But with that, I do notice writers who work that way generally lack a little bit in the page turn department with the big wow moments. But it does make it easier producing a 24-page comic. It's a 6-shot. Granted, I feel like I was telling my buddy, I was like, Dave Finch, if artists were bands or bands that I listen to, Dave Finch is the Ramones to me personally. Definitely in my top 10. But there are times which you feel like you've seen one live performance, you've seen them all, right? Like predictable. And there are a lot of times where obviously you're going to stick to stuff that works, and no artist is should ever be expected to reinvent the wheel. But there are moments in there where sometimes it feels like I've seen this somewhere, you know. I've already been exposed to this in a different book. So, but yeah, these are crazy. That's crazy cool. Who inked this? Okay, so the inkers here is Bat and Sander Hope. This will be interesting. Sander Hope's inks to me feel very soft. Is that the right word for it? Seen a lot of her stuff on well, you know, it might also be just because the artists that she's worked over generally have like a softer approach to their outlines and the rendering style. Just everything kind of flows. And with Finch, it's very organic, so you got to have a little bit of grit. Yeah, nothing's really jumping off the page to me as being not bat inks yet. It's a really cool shot. I like that one too. Color palette in here is pretty dark in these issues as well, so it makes it some of it a little hard to register. Cover here, Finch and Mickey. This cover right here. Rendering on a skull cap feels a little like a McGinnis. Weird. Alright, this is very gritty. Very, very gritty. Almost plat-like. Pencils, Finch. Inks. Okay, so Finch inked some of this himself, and then you also got Scott Hanna, Bat, and Sander Hope as well, lending their inks. Yeah, those first couple pages, they had a little bit of that Stephen Platt fighting American feel to it. It was really weird. Some of the rim light hatch marks. It's cool. I like that. Just weird because it feels different than the much cleaner pages. So I'm assuming that was Dave inking himself. I'm gonna assume. But yeah, so I feel like, let's see here, we're still in book 1. I think it's coming towards the end of this, and then we'll switch over to book 2. This is the last one here, yeah, because then it goes to this artist. So yeah, Finch and Danny Mickey on inks right here. That's where volume 1 ends. And then in the very back, you get a little bit of a couple pages. So you got some variant covers, a whole lot of covers by. Looks like it had a whole lot of covers by Tim Sell. All right, and then the Gotham namesake characters here. Some designs by Finch. Some pencils. So you get that cover. Then some interiors here. So not a whole lot of bonus stuff, but at the very least, most of the bonus stuff in here is David's line art, you know. Pencil. All right, so there's that. That's my messy desk. And we're going to go to volume 2. I did bookmark these as well. So let's see here. Can I start? I think I can start right No, that's the end. Okay, so that's what it is. That's the end of that. Okay. So, Rebirth Book 2, Deluxe Edition. I don't know if there's any other editions of this. They just showed up in my items you might like. So I was like, oh, that's cool. And then it showed Book 2. According to what I read, Book 3 has 0 Finch. It might have some covers, but just so you're aware, I do not think it has Dave Finch interiors, because usually he's a selling point. There was nothing mentioned in there about him doing interiors, so for any of it. Pretty cool cover here. Dave Finch and Danny Mickey. And numerically, I am completely clueless on this stuff. I don't know what issue numbers. I think the first 5 or 6 is in that first book, and possibly some backup stuff for a one-shot. This looks like Danny Mickey inks to me. Man, this is weird to see Finch draw like this. It's almost like a Haas work out of like Top 10 or something. It's weird. I think this is Danny Mickey's inks. I think. Oh, it looks like Finch inked himself. Okay, so that was Dave, actually. Pretty clean. Pretty clean. All right, so you got Finch and Mickey on the cover here on this issue. Let's see. So this issue is Finch with Danny Mickey on inks. Yeah, a lot of tapered brushwork here on the neck. You could see it on the lines that work their way horizontally. The rendering that Dave likes to do, which kind of zigzags back and forth along the darkest areas. Pretty easy to scope that out. And like I said, Danny has his own way of doing it. Bat would have been more like the teepee to the thin to thick. Where Danny kind of goes the other. He does a little bit of that, but also the closer you get to like a collar area or the end of a muscle area, he'll actually go with a much thicker, fatter line and maybe even shorten it a bit to kind of work it back into the main shadow area. I spent a lot of time looking at inks because I incorporate it into my own artwork, so, and my own inks whenever I ink others, all that. It's a cool double pager. Very very reminiscent of Finch's Moon Knight, which basically is just sort of Marvel's Batman, right? Kinda, sorta. I do like seeing Finch play with facial expressions. You got Big Shot of Bane. That is ridiculously good. Such a good illustration right there. All right, so let's get through this. Oh, man, the inks on this are just really cool. There is a lot of push and pull. I notice with the open talking pages, it feels a lot more reserved. And as soon as you get to the fight stuff, it's just like over the top, super nicely rendered, heavy shadows, a lot of line variants, very aunts. Yeah, that's sick. Yeah, I think Finch is one of my favorite Batman artists, and also does an excellent job drawing the the gallery of rogues. Um, definitely one of the best. Definitely. Guess you got another Finch with Mickey here. Looks like that was inked by Danny Mickey. Credits for some reason in the back. Okay, so this one here actually, let's see, we got Danny Mickey, Sandra Hope, and Trevor Scott. You got some Trevor Scott inked pages here too. Back in the day, I always used to think of Trevor Scott a little bit like Wildstorm's version of like Danny Mickey. Both of them, Danny and Trevor, both had like a really good ability to kind of style flip if they needed to, adapt to whoever they were working with as far as an inker is concerned, and then they were both really good artists too. Are really good artists, but just happen to get a lot of ink work. Both of them like super technically sound. Yeah, Trevor Scott. My favorite work actually isn't even super clean. It's the those fill-in issues that he did on the Death Blow series. Those were really sick. But a little bit of utility play with Trevor for sure. Like definitely saw his name on stuff that you wouldn't really expect once in a while. It's weird. Some of the panels in here they feel almost like maybe Finch was venturing into the Great Capullo area because some of these faces, like this, is very uh, Capullo esque. Uh, and this too. Man, they should put out like some art editions of this stuff too. I do have the unwrapped Batman book, um, which I think has the Dark Knight run of books. It might have Golden Dawn in it as well, but I do know it has the Dark Knight books. But that one's only pencil and then a handful of inked pages that they, for whatever reason, didn't have pencil scans of. I think the inked pages were by Rich Friend in that edition. Um, but wow, this stuff, I would really like to see it color removed. Um, there's a lot of really cool stuff going on in here. Bam! Bam! Awesome shots. Yeah, all this stuff is good. It's all good. But again, he didn't do this whole thing. Okay, so like does a large portion in book 1, Batman Rebirth book 1, but this one here, book 2, pretty much where I put that my little card. That's where it stops for him, and then it's gonna skip again. It's gonna skip. Okay, so last one's right there, and then I think because I put that right there, so it goes to Fabric, and then yeah, back to Finch for a little bit. This one's going to be weird. So, yeah, he only does a few pages here and there. Okay, so you got a Finch page here. Pretty awesome. We got some other artists. I think Clayman does some stuff in here. Another Finch page. Pretty rad. Awesome Finch page. Unfortunately, her face runs right into the gutter. I wish this page was over here. Like, these two feel like they should have been flipped with the head directions. Like, this should have been over here. Anyways, another cool Finch page right here. We're going to act like this doesn't exist. Let's see. These are both David. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Cool inks on this leather. Really cool inks on the leather. He did not intend on this, but the way that the light hits and the way it fades out is very, very Chris Bachalo, like super Chris Bachalo right in here. If you get rid of this and showed me just the figure, I'd be like, oh yeah, Chris Bachalo, Catwoman, for sure. All right, so then we're going to skip a bunch. We skip all the way to here. That's totally Gotham by Gaslight cover. He did. Finch did not give credit to Manual there. That's absolutely Gotham by Gaslight right there. Okay. Let's see. You got Finch inking himself here, okay? So let's check this out. These pages are pretty cool. I like the colors in here more than I like in the issues that he illustrated before. Who colored this stuff? Gabe El-Taib on colors on this. Yeah, this just feels a lot more, and I know it's like a Christmas scene. Yeah, so it's a little more welcoming, but it's just a lot easier. It doesn't feel like there's a blue photo filter, over the whole page. So, and then I'm not entirely sure what comes after that. Let's see here. That might actually be it for Finch. Yeah, I got some cover stuff. Not a whole lot. There are pages in here as well. Neil Adams. Then you got a cool some variants. Okay, so anyways, that's it. Thanks for checking this out. Books 1 and 2 of Batman Rebirth. Finch after Finch. All right, guys. Thanks for checking this out. Subscribe. I like subs. New subs are welcome. Thank you. All right. Peace out.